Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV with me, Toby Babb, and joining me live in the studio here today are Tom and Steve from TNS. Great to see you guys.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks so much for coming in. It's been a hell of a journey. You've come across from the States today, one of our most travelled guests coming into the studio, so I'm really thrilled to have you both in here. Loads happening with TNS at the moment, and I'm excited to sort of unpick some of that and hear about the acquisition and everything that you guys have been dealing with. So lots to get into, but before we do that, can you give yourselves a brief introduction? Tom, let's start with you.
Yeah, great. Tom Lazenga. I run the financial markets business here at TNS. Been here for 13 years. It's been a heck of a ride, and now I'm excited about the next phase.
Yeah, Steve Rowe. I'm the founder of West Highland, the former CEO, and we had 28-year tenure running that organization, and we go back as far as 40 years in the industry, and excited about this transition.
Absolutely, and it sounds like a really exciting transition for both parties. So we'll come on to all of that and explore it a little bit more. But let's start with the sort of proposition of TNS in Europe and what's changing with the offering, what's new about the offering. Tom, tell us a little bit about the story.
Yeah. So TNS is the only turnkey solution for market data operations. We provide end-to-end turnkey, everything from procuring server hardware, hosting it in a data center, to providing market data and administering the market data, entitling it, and then onto reporting to an exchange.
So it's an exciting sort of time for where you guys can come in and provide that, I guess, all-encompassing offering to people in a marketplace where market data is a complex world, right?
Yeah.
But it's got lots of opportunity, and there's been a fair amount of movement in a marketplace that's been relatively solid for a while. We're seeing quite a lot of movement, acquisition in the space and all that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about what sort of prompted the play with West Highland.
I think Steve and I have known each other for a couple of years.
Danced around handbags for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a number of years. I think, we always thought there was something there, and it was just finding the right time and the right opportunity to put it together.
And Steve, what was the thought process from your side? As you say, 28 years of raising a child.
Yeah, it was a long time in coming, and you have to understand that when you get to a certain tenure in your career, that in order for the entity to survive, it has to get into younger hands with new innovative ideas and a different approach to take it to a level that I might necessarily would have not been able to do as West Highland. And the partnership with Tom and TNS made perfect sense for us, right? The capabilities of TNS, what they currently did and how it complemented us, really you could see that vision that Tom had and TNS had for the organization to take it to the next level. So we were all pretty excited about it. And
that sort of play, I think, is when you're looking at it and thinking, right, this is a business which you want to take further forward and to partner with someone. Obviously, you guys have known each other for a little while and did that. What was it specifically about TNS that said, this is the business I want to sort of anchor to?
So when in an acquisition, right, which we haven't had any experience with before,
of course,
what was important to me was that how is it going to not only the company survive, but the people, the services, what we have, and what is it that would make it better?
Yeah.
So the ability that TNS has to being in as many organizations that they're in, with the services, the hosting, the colocation, the hardware, really truly making it a turnkey solution with a global presence, which we didn't have, we never would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
So this really facilitated that, and you'll see the expansion coming really soon.
And the internationalization of it gives you those sort of opportunities. And Tom, from your side, obviously West Highland's a business there you've admired and looked at and created this relationship with. What was the sort of thinking behind this is a move that we've got to make and makes absolute sense for the business?
Yeah, so I think for us, West Highland was our fourth acquisition in the last few years. I think a model that's worked really well and that I certainly think is beneficial for both organizations is founder-led. So Steve founded this company. He has that entrepreneurial spirit. It's hard to sort of put it into words or metrics, but you sort of feel it, you see it when it's happening. Customers notice it. You talk to the West Highland team, the employees, it permeates through the organization.
Yeah,
That's something that we really wanted to encourage as far as when we were bringing them into our organization. And, we've seen a big impact. There's been a lot of learning on both sides, and it's been a huge benefit for us.
And so, as you say, 4 acquisitions over a course of a period. What was the thought process behind acquisition as opposed to organic growth and such like? Acceleration, opportunity?
Yeah, it's really just opportunity. I think that acquisitions are not something that are going to happen or not. We look at a lot of acquisitions over the years, many more than the 4 that we've done, and it's just about the right opportunity, the right fit, and kind of the stars aligning. So in this case, with these 4, it all sort of worked out well for us.
Perfect. And you mentioned a little bit about the sort of the globalization and the opportunity to sort of expand over here in Europe, and the opportunity again, I guess, for TNS to be a vendor agnostic turnkey solution for the space. Tell us a little bit about why that's important.
Being able to take what is a very difficult problem for our clients to solve, and that typically requires multiple third parties as well as an entire internal staff, and making that turnkey, one-stop shop. You come to TNS, we can handle everything end to end. If you have a problem, you just call TNS and we'll solve it for you. It's a powerful message, right? I mean, for 20 plus years, TNS has been solving complicated infrastructure challenges globally, whether it be sourcing hardware, hosting it, connecting data centers, sourcing market data. And Steve's been doing the same thing with West Highland. Putting those things together has been, really resonated with both TNS clients and West Highland.
Yeah.
So
I think this is
immediately complementary nature.
I think that's really important, isn't it? Sorry to cut in there, because it sort of resonates a lot with what I'm seeing and hearing in the markets, particularly over the last few years. When I think people have been used to having, certainly over the last 20 years, sort of an enterprise solution which sort of covers something, but it doesn't have any sort of ability to really tailor it and make it bespoke to your requirements. We're seeing a demand for much more opportunity to be expansive in what you can do, and the partners where you are looking at interoperability and everything else around that sort of thing, and having the opportunity to cover all areas, all bases with one piece, as opposed to keep on shopping around and create these sort of Frankenstein's monsters of systems. That's got to help in terms of where you guys are sit as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. And if you historically look at the industry, it's just as you and Tom have both stated, you would have to go to each niche player to get specific services that you want. And not only is it the management and the onboarding of those vendors, but it's the process of how you engage each of those vendors from a service perspective that now becomes streamlined with this one organization, which completely eliminates finger pointing, time delays in service. It's a very, very nice solution and outcome for the client.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it saves everybody money.
Well, which is a big part of all this, right? Because if we think about what tech's supposed to do at the moment, increase efficiency, reduce friction on the customer side of things, obviously save money, create competitive advantage when everything is becoming more expensive for businesses to run in this sort of space, in this sort of sector. The advantages that people can get have to be gained through technology, as far as I can tell from it. And when you're talking about investment that saves money, that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
In that scenario.
You think about tech and efficiency, and all of that's happened really at the enterprise level. Like, all organizations are embracing tech because it's been built for the wider organizations, but it's not specific to industries, or for, certainly in our case, front office trading operations, market data operations, right? That's where we come in, is we've taken what we think is a challenge that can be solved by tech and put a solution together that, again, is turnkey, one-stop shop, and make it easy for our clients, and we save them money along the way.
So making it easy for your clients makes it sound like it's an easy process for you guys, but I imagine behind the scenes there's an awful lot that makes it, it's the difficult stuff that makes everything easy on the top of it is where you want to be. So we know why it's important. Tell us a little bit about how you've achieved this sort of one-stop shop, easy for me to say, offering.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of magic that happens behind the curtains, but from our clients' perspective, we certainly make it easy and make it turnkey. I think, you have TNS's 20 plus year history of managing infrastructure globally for, financial institutions. We have 1,000 plus clients in every region of the world. There's a lot of history and lessons learned and, best practices that we've embraced as part of that. And combining that to move up the stack with West Highland's offering to manage market data applications, exchange entitlements, commercial administration. Putting that all together in one solution allows us to sort of make it easy for the clients, really, I guess, to put it all into perspective.
And making it easy for the clients is not the easiest thing in the universe to do. So it's obviously taken a lot of thought. I love that, and I imagine this is exactly where you guys sit. I imagine there's a lot of time speaking to those customers, understanding where they want to be, seeing some of those issues and working out how you can come about and provide those solutions, Rusty.
It is. So the challenge, every client is unique.
Yeah.
And every client has a way of doing something. What was really nice, what we have done historically at West Highland and what TNS also does is we have a certain level of nimbleness that we adapt to our client's way of doing things, right? So it becomes very important that the solution that we offer it's transparent. So the clients and their clients typically don't know who's providing the service because it's integrated so well. So the challenge of simply just connecting to a ticket system, right? If you call any large vendor today, you have to call them, call their service desk, their ticket system, and it's completely void of your environment. We integrate that, so the metrics, the monitoring, the management, all those KPIs that they need to address and manage are all into their environment as well as ours. It's a seamless, straight-through process.
It's a perfect sort of way of doing business, isn't it? And obviously a fairly compelling thing for customers to be listening to. What's been the response so far?
Love it. I mean, I think, again, that goes back to Steve's entrepreneurial spirit. It's, wouldn't it be great if you integrated into our ticketing system, just as an example, and we could have access to the same reporting and monitoring that your team does as they're monitoring these solutions? And so he said, yeah, it would be great. Yeah. And they built that. And now it's something that we have as well, and we think is certainly unique and interesting.
And so for looking over here at the EMEA region and such like, what's the sort of impact for them? What's the opportunity for your customers in the space off the back of this?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of success bringing this to market here in the U.S. And we've now we're excited to announce that we're bringing the offering here to Europe as well. I think it's having one solution for your entire market data operations inside of an organization globally. Does have a lot of benefits. It can save money, it can improve efficiency, and improve awareness of what's going on. I mean, one of the things that, Steve and I talk about a lot is, if you're managing your own market data operations, right, you're only really looking after your environment. So you only know what's happening with your environment. And if, there was an outage, for instance, you're troubleshooting, you're going through your steps, there's only so much information you have access to. Because TNS and West Highland manage, hundreds of deployments globally for clients. We can tell, is it your environment or is it the industry? Is it your application or is it, the network? Is it something on the exchange? We can instantly tell all that information because we're monitoring multiple environments. So it's unique insights that you get, not only saving money, making your operations more efficient, that we can offer that are unique.
Increases the productivity at the same sort of time off the back of that, right?
Absolutely.
Just forgive me, Steve, for not knowing this as well, but this is the European sort of play for you. This is part of the thing which has allowed you to come through that. Have you done it traditionally beforehand, or is this a sort of first steps with TNS into the European market for you guys?
So our clients are all global.
Okay.
And we have relationships with firms across the globe and in the EU, of course, as well. But the challenge has always been boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So because of this acquisition, TNS has a presence here.
Perfect.
That has opened up the doors, so everyone's very welcomed. And we, quite honestly, the acquisition was driven by one of our clients. They were the one that actually came and dropped the seed.
Is that right?
And yeah, they said it would be a great idea. You guys should come together. And then it was brought to Tom, and we had already been chatting over the years, as Tom mentioned, and it was brought to fruition.
Steve's so client-led. That was,
I'll tell you what, though, that's a great testament to it, isn't it? When you've got clients who are talking about putting those sort of things together, and I know obviously you guys are talking about it, but to have that corroboration from a customer, I think is relatively unique in terms of how those things get sort of come around.
Yeah, I mean, there's those that know enough about what TNS does and what West Highland does have all reached out, been very complimentary and excited about it. You can see the potential of putting this all under one roof. It solves a lot of challenges for our clients in the industry.
What I love about it is I think the M&A world is quite an interesting sort of space, and obviously it's filled with, a lot of success stories over the years, but it's also filled with a lot of stories where it doesn't work quite as well as everyone's aware of. But usually that's when it's led by the necessity of the founder to sort of say, right, I need to get out of this, or I'm looking on a journey out, an exit, or I want to have a cash-driven event that allows me to do this sort of stuff. For me, it seems that this is perfectly situated, and it's one of those things that's a win-win for all scenarios, and actually it expands the offering of both businesses, and actually is a sort of where you want these sort of things to be, this convenience for both parties and for customers. And when you've got that sort of mix, and it's done on something that hasn't been done through just necessity, or someone seeing, or a deck being passed from someone to someone else, etc., but from a relationship that's been born, that's a really exciting position I think you guys have found yourselves in.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you take two profitable businesses that have positive momentum currently, prior to putting them together.
Yeah.
And, with complementary product offerings, it has been a great ride. And, again, for us, we view it truly as, we're not, to your point, it's not out of necessity. It's more about solving problems for our clients. Yeah. And we see these things all the time. The complementary nature of putting the organizations together has already, paid dividends for us internally and with our clients.
And you alluded to this a couple of times now, that sort of, we know one thing about market data is it's not cheap.
Yes.
And it's a significant spend for financial institutions. But this seems to be something, again, which sort of mitigates some of that cost and helps improve that scenario. So talk to us a little bit about how what you guys are doing is improving the cost situation for market data for financial institutions.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, obviously, market data is critical to operations for front office trading organizations, right? And so it's not something that, you can have go out and, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But you can't trade if you don't have market data, right? And so that mission critical element to it, and the fact that global trading has become such a phenomenon, means that you really need 24/7 staff, 365 days a year, monitoring and managing this. So that alone, when you think about market data spend, is like the first step, is very expensive. And just having support, even if it's not completely outsourcing, just augmenting your staff to be able to sort hours that are difficult, or having, an escalation point, or, something along those lines, can help reduce costs. And then beyond that, the actual spend on market data itself, there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of different ways exchanges charge for various usage, right? And you have so many users trading so many different markets with so many different kinds of usage. It's very difficult to make sense of, am I paying for everything that I'm supposed to be paying for? Is this optimized properly?
Yeah.
West Highland has a team of experts, and they've built a suite of tools to optimize your spend across the spectrum related to market data, and it has a huge impact on clients. I mean, we've saved clients millions of dollars just from going in and marrying up usage relative to what's entitled, relative to, what people are actually using. And it's
so the customers are smiling all over their faces at this as well.
Absolutely. And it's an easy pitch at that point. Why don't you bring us in? We're going to save you millions of dollars. Here's where. So
the sales teams are all smiling in your offices at the moment.
Absolutely.
Steve, tell us a little bit about your customers' reaction to all of this as well.
So they, of course, they embraced it.
Yeah.
Right. As every small company has a challenge with, is getting into a large organization. There's always a risk situation, right? They look at your revenue and how much they're going to pay you, because no large organization is going to pay you tens of millions of dollars a year if you're only worth a small amount. So
of course,
it was a little bit of a challenge, but because West Highland was referred to as the gold standard, we had that street cred that we had to be there, right? And we were in there, and that's why the client base that we have, most of our clients are been 20 years.
Yeah.
So they've been there for quite a long time.
Yeah,
It's a trust factor.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That retention of client in that sort of space.
Well, it's good. So the challenges are always around the labor pool and finding in this particular vertical a skilled labor pool that actually understands the business. It's changing, it's thinning. So the managed services play that we have is perfect, right? We know that it is typically a 6-to-1 save coming to us as doing it yourself, and we mitigate all the risk of attrition. Yeah, 100%. It's a no.
How does that work out? The sort of 6-to-1 save.
So if you have to provide 24-hour support,
of course,
just for one region, right? And if you had one guy 8 hours a day, that's 24. Well, you can't do it with just 3 people.
Yeah, of course.
Right? You'd have to do that with 4 or 5 because you'd have vacations and holidays and time off and attrition. So you have to be prepared. Now you add in 3 other regions. And every time you do that, that's another 3 or 4 or 5 people. Right? So if you get
skilled tech staff that understand market data, understand.
Right. And then you have the cost of the tools and everything to set all that up. If you come to us, we have a team that's doing it 24 hours, and we've pioneered this way of managing market data remotely, where we were one of the first vendors, probably if not the first, that operated from the cloud in this manner. And we got clients to trust us in order to do that. So what we can do with 4 or 5 people around the day because of our tools and our automations and things that we do, and then the ability that we have with touching so many clients that we can identify, as Tom said, if it's a street outage, exchange outage, if it's a network outage. We are so much more efficient and cost effective than doing it on your own, and mitigate all those different risk factors that the client have to their business.
It's brilliant to listen to, isn't it? And look, my day job, as you know, has been the people space, the recruitment arena, and I've known for the last 24 years that this is not an easy space to hire into, right? And that, I guess that's exactly the point, to be able to have that sort of quality of people on hand without having to sort of go in there and worry about the retention aspect, to worry about the cost aspect, which is ever increasing in human capital on its own as well at the same sort of time. It's not getting cheaper.
I didn't know about this industry when I first started. When I came out of college, my background's a computer scientist. And I stepped into it and I said, market data, what's market data?
I think you're not alone in that sort of space.
Right. And you can tell somebody who's been in market data just by counting the scars on their back. It's thankless, it's difficult, but if you like a challenge and you love what you're doing, this is a great place to be.
And there's been some phenomenal stories in it as well, hasn't there, of where we've seen people sort of really grow and develop. Let's touch on those. Sorry, did you want to pop in there as well?
Just to add, I think, when we were talking about the acquisition earlier and Steve's talking about the efficiency and what we have, I mean, we've kept every single employee from West Highland as well. So I think there's when you talk about acquisitions and how what the right kind are and what sort of motivates and keeps people excited and is a positive thing for the industry. It's not like we're coming in and cutting costs. We're coming in and investing in this business. We're taking it global. We're hiring more staff. So it's been a great thing for clients. It's been a great thing for employees. It's been
that's such an important thing. I'm glad you said that actually as well, because you do look at it and you think, right, there's an acquisition can be about streamlining and creating efficiencies in that business, and there's someone there who's sort of come through. I imagine there's a lot of responsibility around the team that sort of come into that as well. So to have a partner there that will continue to invest in that and secure everyone in, so it's not just sort of someone there who's sat and prospering from this sort of thing at the top and everyone else then sort of sat muttering around it. That's a brilliant position to be for both of you to come from.
It was one of those things that I didn't even have to ask Tom, what are your plans with my people? He came out and said, I want your people, I want your products, I want your services, I want everything. So as a founder-led organization, you really love your business and you love your people because you understand the sacrifice that they have, and put into the business.
To get into
you want them to succeed and have opportunity, and the opportunities that exist within TNS far exceed what I could have given them at West Highland. So they're all thrilled and they're all happy.
And I imagine there's a few that have been there for a while if I'm a betting man as well.
We've had very, very low attrition at West Highland over the years. We've created a great environment, and it's the same thing over at TNS. Low attrition, people love to work there, nimble organization, and it's all positive, forward, thinking and group of people.
Love to hear it. Let's look forward a little bit. And what this, so we know where we're at. We've had this excitement around it. We know what the scale of opportunity is. What's next for TNS?
Well, I think we have our work cut out for us here over the next years of this West Highland acquisition. I'll tell you that. I think from our perspective, we really want to get the message out about how seamless we can make market data operations and bring that to fruition. I think right now this is a completely fertile ground, right? So we're still learning from our clients. We're trying to understand where IT trends are going and tech trends and things like that, and figuring out how we can
economic trends and alongside
exactly.
That's the difficult one.
Exactly. Yes, but I think regardless of economic conditions, everyone's interested in being more efficient, saving money, and making their lives.
That's not going away, whatever market, right?
Exactly. So for us, whether it's if things are going well in the market, you tend to have a lot of new projects, clients are trading new markets, or there's new opportunities to pursue, and they often need help scaling to be able to do that. And having an organization like TNS, global operations, that has staff in every major region, can help support that. But if economic conditions start to change and there's belt tightening going on, or efficiency becomes a concern, as we talked about earlier, TNS can save money for our clients as well. And so there's always opportunity. There's always things we can do to help our clients, and
it's all win-win
out over here. Yeah, exactly.
Steve, anything from your side that you're excited about in the near future? Lots, I imagine.
Well, yeah, there's tremendous amount of opportunity for all my people. So be able to see them grow and mature on their own. A lot of times, as a founder, it's tend to be not necessarily managing, but you have a lot of impact with the people, and they're driven to certain tasks. Now you kind of have the handcuffs off of people, and they can grow and develop and really expand and be better than where they were at the West Highland.
Yeah, so it's a very exciting time for it. There's lots more I could be, I guess, invading in your minds to pull out all of this sort of stuff. It's a really exciting time. It's great to hear a little bit about the story and all this sort of thing. But for people who are listening to this and wanting to find out a little bit more about TNS and West Highland and everything you guys are doing, which seems like a no-brainer, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you guys?
The Bat Light.
The TNS. I have seen TNS across the dark skies recently.
Yeah, I think just going to our website would probably be the best way to find us, or reaching out to your local account manager.
We'll tag both of you into this episode as well on LinkedIn and everything else around it as well.
Yeah, please reach out anytime. Steve and I are available.
Perfect. Well, listen, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on the show. Great to hear about it. As I say, look, I'm a big student. We've had sort of 300-400 people on this show over the last couple of years, and it's and we've had some amazing conversations. And what I love from it is when you sort of analyse about, right, where will these go and why is it happening and what's the sort of motivation behind it. And there's really clear things that pop up in my head about what makes things successful from in this space around some of these things, be it VC investment and which ones work and which ones don't, through to M&A activity, through to startups. And actually, it generally comes down to the people and alignment of those sort of conversations. And when I'm looking at founders who've gone out there and raised money or partnered with other businesses, is do you see that chemistry and alignment of thought process as to why and where they're coming? And that's 100% clear to me that there's a brilliant match between the two of you and where you guys are sat and why it's happening and everything that does with it. Plus the fact it's incredible for your customers on top of that as well. So sounds like you've got a great thing going on. It's been great to hear a little bit more about it. Thanks for coming over and getting involved today.
Thank you
really
very
great
much.
to see you. And thank you all for watching. We will see you on the next episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.